So Ryan Clark was fired by ESPN while live on the air, right? They let him go. And they're making all kinds of excuses as to why he was fired. But we all know why he was fired. Ryan Clark's, speaks his mind. The same way that he played on the football field is the same way he is as a sports analyst and on his show, The Pivot. A lot of people don't like him, right? Y'all remember when he rubbed some shoulders the wrong way, those W folks, when he called out RG3, who was disrespecting the young black WNBA star, propping his W wife up in the background. And, Ryan Clark called him out for that, right? Basically saying, listen, man, you out here raccooning and selling out, bro. You ain't got no right to even be speaking on the black community or black people, right? Because of the things that you do, right? He called him out. He rubbed ESPN the wrong way. Then he had a couple tapes on ESPN when in regards to taking up for the black community. A lot of people didn't like that.
In the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what black women deal with a lot from black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over black women by denigrating black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes. And I think this is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racists, he'll be no less black than me.
And see, he exposed something that, and let me say this, right? Because Ryan Clark was with a W woman at first too. Let me take y'all into the classroom for a minute. A lot of these great players, they get extracted from their communities at a very young age, right? So through their formidable years, they're growing up in W neighborhoods, going to these W schools, high schools, and then colleges. So from about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, they in white schools around a bunch of white women, right? So they already groomed already to be with these women. I did videos on this, right, on my channel years ago, like really in depth, broke this down, because y'all hear me saying it at surface level, but when they're in these colleges, they are already groomed to be with these women, right? And you're away from your people, and you're around the coaches and all these people that's helping form your life into what it's going to be until you make your millions of dollars, right? So at some point, he got away from the W woman and he got back with a black woman. And he got back to his community, his family, understanding who he is and where he came from. So he called RG3 out like, yo, man, what you doing, man? Like, if you want to be with a W woman, be with a W woman. But stop propping this W woman up over your black woman and denigrating this woman, right? And he stood on business and told the truth, right? But that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Then he was on ESPN and he got into something with Peter Schrager, right? A guy that ESPN was trying to create a show for, and Ryan Clark called him out mid-show because Ryan Clark, he don't hold his words.
Good morning. Are you feeling okay? You look at AJ Brown, which is this #1 wide receiver who got 1 target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb.
But that's the
when was the one
Straight,
target?
that's the target.
But
though.
I'm saying,
when
like,
was the one
I'm
target?
saying you could
1
have it
minute
both
and
ways.
54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route.
You wake up this
the
morning
corners
saying
got
AJ
outside
Brown
leverage.
had a better day than CeeDee Lamb.
But
No,
you know what you wake up saying though? AJ Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course.
Right, like,
I mean,
like
yes,
that's what
I get it.
But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh,
view.
stop. That's no. That CeeDee Lamb is.
And let me tell you why. I'm not saying.
I'm not looking at fantasy football, Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
As a player, I can't speak for CeeDee Lamb. I'm speaking for.
Y'all remember the former LSU player Karon Lacy, right? His take on that. He rubbed people the wrong way because he was too black. He was out there saying stuff that we would say online or on the barbershop. He was going off script. He wasn't going with the script, clenching his cheeks up and yes, well, what happened today? He wasn't doing none of that. No. He was speaking his mind, and he was calling out the W police and the way that they was handling this. And he rubbed a lot of them the wrong way because, see, the thing is, he already came in, was financially stable. He was telling them, man, y'all can kiss my behind. Man, I don't care nothing about none of that. I'm coming here to do me, right? I'm coming here to say what I need to say. A lot of people are, and let me tell you something about hypocrites out there. A lot of hypocrites say the same thing he say offline amongst their own people, calling out the system and everything else. But when they see somebody doing it against the system, right, doing it on a platform, you get mad and side with the system against the person. Oh, he shouldn't have been talking like that. He shouldn't have. Y'all do it all the time. All he did was take it and do it under the lights. That's all he did. That's because y'all afraid to rock the boat. He wasn't afraid to rock the boat.
Please, yes. I beg your pardon. I did want to clear space for this.
1 second,
this is important.
Yes, guys, Karon Lacy was supposed to be in the NFL. Karon Lacy was accused of something and being investigated for something that he didn't do, and he died having to live with the guilt and the consequences of a guilty man knowing he was innocent. It recently was discovered that he was 72 yards away from the crash, that police and state policemen tried to coerce and doctor and use ways to manipulate statements that put this young man behind bars. They changed his joy, they changed his life, and eventually he took his own life. This was supposed to be a career, but at least he was supposed to be here. At some point throughout his career, I would expect to have said his name. So I'm going to say his name tonight.
Amen.
Karon Lacy was innocent. Karon Lacy should be here with us. Nothing will ever repair or replace the pain that his parents have to feel and his loved ones have to feel. But we could say his name. There were so many stations that ran the fact that he was being investigated. So I wanted to make sure here with Scott, we could say that he was an innocent man and at least know that he has that as he rests.
You and I talked about this earlier tonight, and I'll just share with them what I share with you. I can't recall ever seeing something that made me react viscerally to the point that I felt like my hands were trembling to think that there's video that shows that this is not at all what happened, and that young man took his life. And so I will not say any more. It's your thoughts here. I just wanted to echo.
Thank you very much.
No, and my apologies for forgetting that because this is a more important thing than what we're talking about tonight. Ryan Clark, I appreciate you always.
Now, because he's so real, he's won Emmy Awards. He got the Pivot Show popping, right? Because Ryan Clark, he puts a lot of passion. The way that he played the game, he puts a lot of passion into being an analyst. And a lot of people love Ryan Clark, right? Sometimes he may get over passionate in his takes, but people love him because people know that it comes from the heart. People know that he's real. People know that he loves black people as well. Right? With that Karon Lacy thing, he wasn't playing. He went all the way off script, and them W folks was pissed at him. Right? They was pissed. So, well, they had a chance to get rid of him, but again, he got the Pivot podcast. You know, they getting big money. He got other things coming. Trust me, he got other things coming because people like Ryan Clark, right? But Acho, he also spoke on this. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Acho. Well, let me say this now. I don't hate Acho. But Acho, he's not a foundational black American. So a lot of these people, their takes are just off. He hangs around black people, but he's not a foundational black American. So a lot of times he says some stuff where we like, no, bro, that's not it. Let me show you what you're supposed to do. He's a Nigerian, and sometimes some of them like to hang around us, but they just have the Sambo's coolest takes because they just you got to check them, right? So Acho got on here and he surprised me.
All right, it's time to talk about this Ryan Clark firing. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Number one, objectively, he's a good analyst. Why? He's brought NFL Live 2 Emmy Awards, of which they had never won before, and they likely will not win after. So I understand that fans, more than anything, we value y'all's opinions. We make the shows for y'all. But regardless of whether you think he's great or you think he's terrible, objectively speaking, he got the accolades to prove his greatness. With that being said, firing a man during his show that he's helped bring an Emmy Award is wild. I got a story for y'all. I'm going to hold that for the next 10 seconds. Wild. Why did they say they did it? Because they didn't want him to find out on social media. So you fire him during a show and pull him during the last 10 minutes of the segment? I digress. Story time. Last year when I got fired, if you work long enough at a job, you're going to get fired. Last year when I got fired, they had us find out on social media. We found out on social media. More often than not, executives are cowards. Former athletes, we're used to tough information. Just tell it to us. We done been cut before, broken bones before, had surgeries before. Ryan Clark notably couldn't play a game in like Denver, Colorado because he had a disease, I think an autoimmune something. Like, bruh, we're used to tough things. Just tell us. With that being said, note for anybody that wants to get into sports television. Start to create your own show so you can't be fired. Incubate yourself from being fired from an executive. Because here's the most fascinating dichotomy of everything. Once you get good, you will become so good that you become too expensive to afford. And networks can only afford so many great talent. McAfee, Stephen A. Smith, to some degree Greenberg, they're getting the big money for doing daily shows on ESPN. I'm not talking about the Sunday shows. Those game day shows, anything tethered around live events, way too much money. Everybody got money on those shows. But daily shows, if you get so good, there comes a point they can't afford you. That's the dichotomy of it all. Love, Ryan. I already text you that privately, but I'll tell you publicly as well.
And see, when you're working for them corporations, you got to do what you're told, right? You got to take your hat off and say, yes, sir, boss, yes, sir. I go out there and do what I'm told. I'll read the script, right? I'll say things that helps divide black people. I'll say things that use the media to make them look at them in a bad light. Of course I will, boss. Ryan Clark wasn't doing that. Ryan Clark wasn't with that. Ryan Clark wasn't having that. Ryan Clark was the perfect person who was the spook that sat beside the door. He was a kid. He was a kid that they brought up through their system and put those W women and all that stuff on him. And at some point, he rejected all of it. And he understood their tactics and what they do. And he used it against them. They platformed him. He was great. He won Emmys. But he said, I know who I am. And I'm going to remain who I am. And he checked the RG3 and he told him, he said, no matter what they give you, no matter what they allow you to do, you still just as black as I am. Don't you ever forget that. And then Shaq checked him and then he shut up. Because at some point, okay, yeah, I'm doing too much, right? And they didn't like Ryan Clark because he was too black. He was too black, right? He created the pivot, his own show, so you can't really fire him because he got a lot of fans. You know, they got a good show. People know who he is. People know who he is. But you know, he's gonna pop up on somebody's football show. He's gonna do something because Ryan Clark is too good. And he's serious, right? He has that serious look on his face, but he was like that on the football field. He was a monster on the field. I like Ryan Clark a lot because he's standing on business. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.